Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy, and do you want to protect and shield the intake in your BMW? I'll show you how. All right, y'all, I want to walk you through this project today and show you why you're going to want to do this yourself. Now, we're going to be working with this BMW X3 with the B58 motor back here behind me today. We're going to be installing the Berger Motorsports heat shield directly underneath the intake. Now, you can do this with a stock intake or aftermarket. This is the aftermarket. So I'll walk you through the process. It's going to be very, very similar, but just don't be surprised when it looks a little bit different if you have a stock intake. Now, keeping heat away from your intake is a good thing. Heat robs performance. I also like this shield a lot because there's a lot of talk about the turbos being a little bit exposed and how hot they get. This will actually give some better shielding than what's actually inside the car right now. The stock one is only about a third or 25% of this. So this is going to give better coverage over the top of the turbos as well. And ideally, keep a little bit of heat down towards the turbos and away from your intake. Heat into your intake robs performance all the time. So this is a really quick and easy install. I'm going to walk you through all the steps. Let's pop the hood. Let's get started. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the engine bay and what we're going to do. There's a few additional things I'm going to need to do in this case because of the upgrades to this car. I'm just going to refer to them. I'm not going to talk about them specifically because I'd really prefer to focus on the OEM setup, but it is a little bit different. So OEM, you're going to have a squashed silver engine bay strut bar right here. If I remember correctly, it's a 13 millimeter and a 15 millimeter at either end to take that out. You're going to need to take that out to get your OEM intake out. All of this is aftermarket. It's cool, but it's a little bit different, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. I'm also going to take my engine strut bar off. That's not part of the normal OEM setup because I want to be able to get the cover off easily and show you what we're doing. Now, as we look down in here, here's the OEM tray that we're going to be removing. There's a series of 4 13 millimeter bolts. You can feel them right here really easily. And this tray is going to come out. There's also a very slight cover over the top of your turbo inlet right here. So the shield is going to go into this space. The other reason why we need to take the engine cover off is because we're going to run one of the downpipe O2 sensor cables up through the shield. Now, with that said, I've opened my hood, which means the X3 is turned on. What I want to make sure to do is have my ignition off, my keys away from the car for no less than 20 minutes. So I'm going to actually let the car sit for a little while before I come back to start doing this work. The reason for that is since we're going to be unplugging the O2 sensor, I don't want the car on at all. I don't want the ECU on. I don't want the DME on. I don't want the possibility of getting an error for unplugging the O2 sensor while the car's awake. Probably wouldn't happen. I don't want to deal with that. So make sure to let your car sit for about 20 minutes. Now, in the interim, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two bars off. Remember, you just need to take this one off, and then we'll talk about taking the intake out next. All right, y'all, so I've taken the engine bay, this engine bay brace off here. I've taken my vanity cover off, and let's talk about some of the similarities of what we're gonna do and some of the differences. Now, obviously, I have an aftermarket intake, and it's set up a little bit differently. If you have this intake, you don't need to take it out. We can get to the 13 millimeter bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 that we need to get to. But if you have the OEM, I'm going to have to talk you through it. Obviously, I can't show you because I've changed this, but it's really straightforward. So the OEM intake is bigger. It fills up the space more. It comes back into this space. And then there is a kind of box attached. It's a resonator that sits here that's attached to your inlet with a T20 screw kind of down between the two. It holds the two together. You're going to need to take that out to be able to get to these two bolts, at least this one, if not both. So I'm afraid you're going to have to take this out. Taking it out is not hard. You have your massive airflow sensor right here. It's got those typical BMW plugs where you're gonna pull back on the little tab, kind of like this one right here. You're gonna pull back on the little tab and press, and then the plug will come out. So you'll want to unplug that. At the bottom, you'll have a rubber boot with a hose clamp, with a worm drive hose clamp. So you use a Phillips or a flat blade screwdriver to back the hose clamp off. And then you can just take the entire box, take it off its feet. Its feet go down into rubber grommets. Just pull it up, gently up and out. And you can pull the whole thing out and set it safely aside. I'm not going to do that because I can get to my bolts here really, really simply. Now, as we look at this, you can see what we need to do next. And I'll get a little bit better camera angle, but there are four 13 millimeter bolts here, 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 and back here. So the one thing we want to do before we start taking those off is you'll see these are the wire runs up to your O2 sensor plugs, of which one of them we're going to unplug here in a second. You want to pull them out of these little clips because these clips are attached to this anemic little shield that we're going to remove here in just a second. Okay, so get caught up to there, get your inlet box out, and then we're going to take the existing OEM shield out next. All right, so lighting up here from underneath, you can see one of the 13s right here. So there's one right back here in this corner right here. There's one right here. There's one right here as well. Now the fourth one you're not going to be able to see, but you can easily feel it. So if you run your hand back underneath this tray, you'll feel right here, all the way back here in the back, is your fourth one. Like I said, you're not going to be able to see that. You'd have to see it from underneath. But you can easily get a tool on that. There's more than enough space. As you see, my hand fits in there really easily. Okay, so you're going to want to take 1, 2, 3, 4 out. That will also take off this little tiny little cap shield right here over the inlet over your turbo. Okay, so go ahead and take 1, 2, 3, in the back corner, 4 off. Make sure you've unclipped the wires from these little clips right here, and then you should be able to walk this little shield out. All right, so the plate is loose. All four are out. The back one requires a short socket extension to get it out. And you can get your hand back in there. You can feel it really easily. It's not hard to take out, and this plate is loose. Now, except this cap right here is holding it still in place with a T20 right down here at the bottom. Now, this is where the difference, if you've taken the OEM intake out, you'll be able to get to this T20 very, very simply. I want to see if I can reach down in here and point right there. You can see it's a little T20 bolt right there at the bottom of this cap. And if you wiggle the cap around, you can see it, it's right there. Hopefully I can point it out really, really easily. Now, because I'm not taking my intake out, I'm going to have to get back in there a little bit. I've made this job a little bit harder for myself than it will be for you if you take the OEM intake out. If I have to, I will take this intake out. I don't particularly want to, but if you suddenly in the next frame you see it out, because I had to. All right, so take out that T20 right there at the bottom of this little cap plate. You can see it's kind of loose. The upper plate is completely loose now. This little cap plate is only held on by that T20 right back here in this corner right here. I should be able to get a tool back on it and back that out. Now make sure to save all of these 13 millimeters. You're going to need them when you put the new shield in. So go ahead and get that cap off and pull both of these pieces out. All right, sorry y'all, quick correction. It's actually a T27. It's not a T20, it's a T27. So go ahead and back that bolt out and go ahead and take the shield and that cap off. All right, so the T27's out, not a problem at all. It's in surprisingly tight though, I will tell you that. So the little cap shield is out, the big longer shield is out, and now you can see this entire line exposed. Now, your O2 sensor, your top O2 sensor here is gonna feed up through the shield itself. This is going to reach up through the shield, so you can see which one of these O2 sensors you're going to have to pull. So what you want to do is press down on this little clip, and this is why we made sure the car was off, right? And you press down and pick it off. Now, I wanted to show this just in case it fights you. See how this should be enough? Pressing down on this little tab should lift the inner lock, but it is not coming off. So on the inside right here, there's a little plastic loop. So you can use a pick tool very gently, get underneath that little plastic loop, and then back this off. Now, this one is already off to make it a little bit easier to show you. These fit onto little tracks right here, like this, with a little center pin clip right there. So underneath this edge, which you wouldn't be able to see, but you can also, again, use your pick tool very, very gently to walk this forward, because when we unplug this, we're gonna have to run this plug through the shield, okay? So go ahead and unplug this top one here, and then we're going to start working to get the new shield in. So really quickly, here's the bottom of that clip. So you're going to reach in with the pick tool and just see how I press on that tab? Gently press on that tab to get it out of line, which unlocks the little barb here right there, and then it slides off easily. Don't crank on them really hard. All you have to do is just press on that, and it should slide right off. And again, we're looking at the kind of off-white yellowish one, not the blue one, but it should be obvious because it's the one that's here to the top O2 sensor. Okay, so now let's start to feed this into the heat shield. This is going to go up through the hole in the new shield, and we can rough fit it up into place. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, you can see where I've fed the O2 sensor up through the hole. You can see where the cabling is going to come up through as well. Make sure to gently guide that up through the hole. Last thing you want to do is bang up this cable or bang up your O2 sensor, which would be a bummer. So I slid this down kind of at a 45-degree angle down over the O2 sensor connection, and then have just set it down into place right now. It's just loose right now. But now all you need to do is just line up those holes with those 1, 2, 3, 4 13mm bolts. Really, really simple. I'm probably going to do this second from the front here first because it's the easiest to get to. It'll help hold it into place. But it is really, really simple. So go ahead and get those 1, 2, 3, 4. Get those bolts snug down. Remember, when you took them off, they weren't overly tight, so just hand tight should be fine. Okay? So go ahead and get those 4 bolts back in, and we'll start to wrap this up. All right, y'all. So the shield is in. The bolts are snug. Man, that looks good. You know, I really like this for an additional reason in that it protects your turbo and your downpipe a little bit more. Keep in mind the temperatures off your downpipe. Now, what I'm about to say is extremely rare, but keep in mind your downpipe can get over 1,000 degrees. It is spectacularly hot, and that's, you know, down there now covered by this heat shield. So I really like the idea that it's going to be really hard for something to spill down on those. You know, fires and other problems is extremely rare, but I do like the idea regardless. So this is a great setup. Now, last thing you want to do again is plug your O2 sensor back in. Now, for whatever reason, normally it's blue and black and yellow in front. It doesn't matter. Whatever your order was, I'm just going to put it back in this order because that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the way I want it to be. So take that, plug your plug right back in, just like that. Make sure to lock that tab back down. Make sure that both are intact. Now, one thing you can look at, and I haven't considered, you do have this little shelf right here. It could be possible to transfer the wire clips, these wire clips that hold onto that little shelf. So I'm going to evaluate that. They basically just alligator clip onto this plate. It appears that it's about the same diameter or same dimensions, excuse me, same thickness. So I'm going to take a look at that to see if I can put those little alligator clips on this shelf. I'm going to try that, and then if it works, I'll show you. That way I can just put these up onto this little shelf, and they're going to be held up in a way like they were in an OEM fashion. Okay, so let me try that really quick and I'll get right back to you. Yeah, actually that worked really, really well. I put one here on this upper flange, one here on the lower flange. I put one cable in one and one cable in the other. That way they're suspended up and away from anything. You don't want these moving around. And again, think of the temperatures involved. So the last thing I want to do is one of these touching something that's too hot. Shouldn't be a big deal, but I think that's a good reuse. Go ahead and put your clips here and here. Go ahead and suspend your O2 sensors cables up and away from any of your heat sources. Okay, so that's fabulous. That works really, really well. All right, so at this point, your heat shield's in, secured down. You're gonna wanna put your intake back in first if you took it out. So it's going to be the reverse order. You're gonna slide the neck of your intake down into the boot. You'll slide it down into the boot. You'll tighten the hose clamp. Make sure that your intake neck is solidly down in the boot. You wouldn't want it sitting kind of cockeyed or sitting at a strange angle and introduce a leak. That would suck. Easy to avoid, but just make sure that it's down and secure. Tighten down your hose clamp enough that you know it won't come out. Plug your O2 sensor back in, or excuse me, your MAF air sensor right here. You just plug it back in, just like on that other one. You snap that little plug back down into place, and that should be good once the box is settled down on its feet. At that point, I've got a little bit of extra work to do because I've got to put an extra brace back on. But put your vanity cover back on. Go ahead and put your cross engine bay brace back on here and here. And then that should be good to go. And your car should be all back together. So we'll give it one last look once I've got it all back together. But this is a really easy, straightforward project. All right, so one last look as we wrap up here. Looks really, really good. The install is really straightforward. Not a problem at all. Make sure everything is secure. Go ahead and close your hood, wrap up, put your tools away. You're all done. Good job. All right, Al, you can tell this is not a hard project, and remember, everything you need will be listed in the video description below. I'm really grateful to Burger Motorsports. This is gonna make a difference in my car, and I really like that idea of trying to trap a little bit more heat, protect my turbos a little bit more. It really is worth it for me to do this install. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to click like and subscribe. It makes a genuine difference to my channel, and I would truly appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you on my next video.